Hello everyone, I am Dr. R. Bharathi, working as Associate Professor of English in the Faculty of Engineering and Technology, ANNAMALAI University. In this video lecture, I am going to say about how to write a resume, that is resume writing. So, resume is very important for candidates, those who are applying for a job. In this session, I am going to just discuss about what are all should be included in a resume and what are the skills needed to write a resume. So, your resume isn't an autobiography, it is a chance to prove yourself. With these wordings, we will start what is a resume. What is a resume? It is a formal document that a job applicant creates to itemize their qualifications for a position, and this resume is generally accompanied with a cover letter, and in that cover letter the applicant says about his interest in the job. And what is the purpose of writing a resume? So, a resume is to give your potential employer a feel for your past experience and what are all the skills and talents you have. So, here you have to remember that you are trying to sell yourself. So, give emphasis to your strengths. What are all your strengths? So, most of the employers, they look for a steady job history. They need a steady job history and a positive pattern of progression, and they also look for increased responsibility and promotions. So, these are all the purpose of a resume. And there are two other similar categories to a resume. One is biodata and another one is curriculum vitae. So, we can see what is a biodata. So, biodata is a detailed document that provides a comprehensive summary of a candidate's life along with career information. And what is an curriculum vitae? It is also called a CV, and it is a detailed document which describes your career progression step by step, including all kind of personal and professional information. So, what is the difference between a resume and a CV? So, resume is a summary, but curriculum vitae means course of life. So, the purpose of your resume is to tailor your qualifications and experiences according to the specific requirements of the job position. But a CV has a clear chronological order listing the whole career of the individual. It includes the education, work experience, languages, computer skills and all the other awards, certificates, publications, etc. So, the difference is CV does not have any length limit. It is only used for academic purposes and it is used to detail information about whole course of the career. But resume is up to only one or two pages and it is used to apply for jobs. It should include only about the work experience, education and skills which are relevant to the job opening. So, what are the basics for a resume? Be concise, that is you have to be very concise. Use phrases, not sentences, and carefully choose the words. Think in terms of the reader who is going to read your resume. So, according to that you record your skills, experiences and qualities which are expected from you, and use a formal writing skill and make your resume easy to read. So, use an appealing layout and font and make important information easy to find. And about the length of the resume. So, begin with a master resume that captures all experiences regardless of length. When applying for positions, pull relevant information from your master resume into a 1-2 page document. And final draft. So, before submitting the resume, proofread carefully and do not simply rely on spell check alone. If you are sending your resume electronically, save it as a PDF to ensure your format is maintained when opened on your new computer, and give your resume a name that will be recognizable to the employers. Format of the resume. There are three formats. One is chronological, functional and combination. So, most probably chronological format is used. It is recommended for job seekers. So, it says about the current studies, what you have done. So, current students and recent graduates, they make use of chronological format. So, it should be in reverse order. The chronological order should be in reverse order. So, most recently done should be in the first column. And functional. In this functional format, it emphasizes skills, qualifications and accomplishments rather than position titles, employers and dates. So, it is best to make use of chronological format. So, combination is the combination of chronological and functional format. And now we are going to discuss about what should be included in your resume. What are the sections that should be included in your resume? So, first one is identifying information, that is the name, address, phone number, professional email address should be given, so that it will be easy for them to contact you and know about you. So, include your local and permanent address if you are a current student. Contact section. So, this should be at the top of your resume and it includes your name, email address and phone number. And just put your home address. Include your home address with city and state. Okay. So, according to the, depending on the job you are applying, you may also want to include your social media platforms. And in your contact information, you include all the informations and give it in bolder font. So, objective or summary. So, this is optional. A brief statement providing focus to your resume, indicating the kind of position you want and what you offer. The rest of the resume should provide evidence of your qualifications for the position you seek. This objective or summary says about what you want and what are you offering to the employers. There are three objectives, that is resume profile, objective or summary. These three are optional. If you want, you can include, otherwise you can just leave it off. So, what is a resume profile? So, it is a quick snippet of your skills and experiences as it relates to the specific job you are applying for. So, you will need to modify your resume profile each time you apply for a different position. And what is an resume objective? So, this is also another optional section. Here you can include what is your uniqueness to each position you are applying for. So, whenever you are applying for more jobs, change this resume objective. And resume summary, this is also an optional part. Here in one or two sentences you can outline your skills, experience and achievements which are related to the position you are applying for. So, this can include informations like years of experience in some particular job or industry, the skills you possess, everything specific. If you have any specific achievements which is eligible for that job, you can mention in resume summary. And experience. So, this is an important part in your resume, but for freshers this may not be done because they won't be having any previous experience, so they cannot give this section, but people who are having some experience, they can make use of this. So, it should include an experience section and it should clearly outline the specific work and other experience you have. And you have to include what are the companies you have worked for, how many years you have worked for, what are the specific duties you had in that position. So, all this will be helpful to get a new job, and you have to say about your achievements or awards which are all you have got. And education, this is the most important part in the resume. So, it is very necessary and mandatory in your resume section. So, it outlines your educational background, and as well as if there is any academic achievements or awards which you have received, that can be highlighted in this section of the resume. So, you have to include the name of the college you attended, the degrees you completed, and if you had any achievements you can mention here. So, if you are a recent graduate, you have to include the school in which you have studied. So, in education section, you have to include the institution which you attended, the degrees which you have obtained or which you are expecting to get, and the graduation date. You have to mention on which date you got the graduation. And you may also include relevant courses if you have studied in abroad, if you had any honors or scholarships. You can put all these informations in separate sections. And if there is any GPA recommended in your degree, you can just mention. Otherwise, if you don't want to mention it, you can leave it off. And the high school information is also acceptable in your resume section. And skills, what are all the skills you are having, that should be mentioned in your resume. So, you can list the specific skills that is related to the job you are applying for. So, common skills like computer skills, technical skills and soft skills, you can just include in the skills section. And if some skills which are related to your job, it should be highlighted. So, examples are given. If you know data analysis, if you know SEO, SEM, marketing, content management, social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, this can be given in this skills section. So, skills relevant to the position or relevant to the employer should be highlighted towards the top of your document. So that it will be easy for you to get the job. And what are all the optional parts to include on your resume? So, there may, after giving all the informations about you, if you have any other additional informations, if you want to, if you wish to include some additional informations in your resume, you can give it in other sections. So, for example, if you have any community service experience which is directly related to your position which you are applying for, you can mention in a separate section. Okay. So, what you have to do is, before including additional information, you be sure that whether this may be appealing to the candidate or it may not be appealing. So, if the answer is no, you shouldn't include this information. And if you have got any awards, if you have any achievements, it can be added. So, this is also an additional section. If you have that, you can include, otherwise if you can just leave it off. So, for example, if you have any international recognition, if you have any publications, if you have any honors or testimonials which is relevant to the job you are applying for, you can give it in a separate section as awards and achievements. And if you are able to speak fluently in more than one language, you can also include the languages known in your skills section. Community service. So, some companies prefer candidates who have passion or experience in community service. So, if you think that for that job, for that position, if you include this community service, it will be helpful, means if it is related to the job, means you can mention it, otherwise you can leave it off. And this is also optional, you can just give your hobbies, because nowadays most of the companies are interested in understanding the candidates on personal level. So, when you say about your hobbies, they can just understand what is your standard, what is your eligibility, how far you will be interested in that job. So, you can just give your hobbies. So, example is given, if you are interested in reading mystery novels, if you are interested in running marathons, woodworking, you can mention it. So, here are some of the resume writing tips. First, while starting to write the resume, know the purpose of your resume, for whom you are writing and for what post you are going to write your resume. So, you should clearly understand what is the purpose of your resume, and always in your resume say about your qualities, what are all the qualities you are having and what are all your strengths, and make use of correct keywords, and make use of effective position titles. So, after completing the resume, proofread twice and use bullet points, and if you think the information to be very important, put the most important information first, and always keep a positive tone, avoid negativity, and highlight all your achievements. Don't say about your responsibilities, just say about your achievements, and don't give any pictures in your resume. So, pictures should not be added in your resume, and don't make use of the same resume for all the jobs you are applying. So, make use of one resume for one job application. So, change your resumes. Accordingly, you update your resumes, and you have to mention the address which is needed by the employer, and just say what you have got. Don't give any false informations, and include which is only relevant to the job, the informations which is only relevant to the job. No lies, not even a little one, only give the right informations, and analyze the job ads, and ask someone to review your resume so that they can make you some changes, they can give you some suggestions. Okay. So, the resume should be 1 or 2 pages only, and make use of a good printer and update your resume regularly. Don't make use of the same resume again and again. So, what are the key elements of your resume? So, in a resume, first you have to give your personal information, that is name and current permanent address. Okay. And then your objective. In 1 or 2 sentences, you have to summarize why you are searching that job, why you need that job. Then you have to say about your education, what the degrees you have got. Then if you have any previous experiences, you can mention as work or experience, and if you have any awards and honors, you can mention it, and then you can say about any activities if you are having, and you can say about your hobbies, and then you have to give the about your skills, what are all the skills you are having, and at the end of the resume you have to give reference of 3 or more people. Minimum it should be 3 references, maximum it may be 5 references. And some tips to write effectively your resume. So, always keep your resume short and direct. Create an original resume template. Highlight relevant skills and experiences. Demonstrate results with numbers and metrics. Craft a career snapshot. Optimize your text. Think beyond your job duties. Use the right language to stand out. So, what are all the common resume mistakes you commit? So, how can you avoid it? So, you should not make use of any resume objective. Other than that, you can make use of your professional profile. Okay. So, don't mention any unrelated work experience which is not relevant to your to the job which you are applying for, and don't leave some informations left out. So, provide all the enough details, and sometimes we may not be mentioning any references, or we may be giving too many references, that should be avoided. So, only 3 to 5 references should be added, and which you should not mention the irrelevant skills to the job role, and don't make use of the same resume for all your applications, and update your informations, contact informations. So, fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. All the best. Thank you.